This is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back again today to do another live reading for you guys. This is my first time trying to record here at the library, so I'm trying to be respectful of everybody. I might not stay on here that long. I'm going to try to do my best so you guys can, get a full reading. I really was excited to try to record today. It's actually quite bright out today, and the weather was good, and the light in here is pretty good, so I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm also really excited for the Jupiter entering energy for towards the end of May. I know we're not there yet, but I was like, I'm just going to specify that this recording is talking about the spring energy, April, May 2024 energy. This is for all signs. There's going to be no timestamps, but I'm just going to be pulling some cards to see what I get for those energies. Before I begin, I want to check my audio really quick. There we go. I think my audio is okay now. I pulled this card just so that I'd have something to focus on. I've been kind of just doing spreads. I did a couple spreads over on Instagram, so you want to check that out as well. Talking about different energies for different time periods and things that I'm just really excited about. Before I begin though, I do want to say thank you to everybody who's been very kind and donated. Anything is helpful right now. Cash App, Venmo, anything through my GoFundMe campaign. All of that is helpful and very kind and appreciated. Basically, I am still trying to fundraise for a upcoming move. So please, if you can donate, I'd appreciate it so much. I'm also almost out of food. For those of you who don't know, I've done a whole series of videos talking about living in my car, and it's not been fun. I have been living in my car since December. So all love and support is appreciated. All prayers are appreciated. And I just wanted to remind everybody that that's what's happening. I'm not at home anymore recording at the library, so hopefully I'll be able to get housing. Those of you who are able to support or donate a large chunk towards housing, this is where I'm asking everybody to help at this time, because I'm not able to come up with the funds. Haven't found a job yet, so those of you who are able to donate a larger amount, I'd appreciate that as well, just because I have to try to get housing and I have to try to get out of where I'm living so that I can basically find new opportunities. So I also want to say that I actually didn't think that I'd be back bringing the tarot back. I thought that I was going to basically not be doing tarot readings, but my guide said that it was okay. It was one of those things that's okay. And I am back, briefly with being really inspired at this moment to talk about the upcoming energies and see what we get. For those of you who did not see my solar eclipse video that is over on Instagram, you're going to want to check that out as well. So there's, I think, 3 videos over there so far. So yeah, I'm going to pull some cards, see what we get. This is specifying for the spring energy. See what we get for spring. Wow. My guides definitely said something about spring cleaning here. I don't know if you can see the last 3 cards. So the outcome is the 3 of Swords. We have the 8 of Swords in the position of attitude. And then 10 of Wands coming in from the outside. The thing about this, it almost feels like an ending that's a long time coming. That's what I want to say. This is an ending, like it's almost like there's only a couple of times I've seen where the Tower is actually the outcome. And to me, it's the equivalent of the Tower as the outcome. Having the 3 of Swords is the outcome. And when the Tower is the outcome, in my experience, it's a long time coming. It's an ending that's a long time coming. It's not just like, oh, you pick up and leave after being somewhere for like 3 days. No, this is like, or you start dating someone for 3 months, and then you say, okay, we're done here, like part ways, amicably, be friends, whatever. But it's not like that. This is an ending that's a long time coming. For those of you who specifically have been in a marriage or partnership that is a long-term relationship or marriage, we are talking anything between 4 and say 30 years, okay, long. It could be even more than that for some people. Like, this could be even a lot longer time where you were married to somebody. But to me, this is an ending. There was of a relationship or something that's a long time coming, where you were in it for a long time. This could be an ending of a job where you were in it for a long time. Any ending that's been a long time coming, I want to say, is, to me, divinely timed. It just feels like it's like boom, 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 like almost like a snowball effect, where it's like, in some ways maybe similar to like my housing situation. It was like, okay, I was working, and then couldn't carry the weight of the inflation and couldn't carry the weight of my housing. And then it was, I am locked into trying to get out of this situation. And I couldn't. And I was damned if I do, and I was damned if I don't. I was damned if I stayed there and got evicted, or if I left. And then came the Three of Swords, and that was the pain, the suffering, sorrow. So for me personally, I can see how it's a step. It's like a steps. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the situation for everybody, but for those of you who are in a relationship, it's like there's steps, there's things that are divinely timed here, where it's like something happens and then there's pressure, and then you have to make a decision and you can't, and you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, and then it leads to some kind of loss, some sort of ending. And it feels to me quite bittersweet, actually, and emotional, and I'm very sorry. Whatever loss this is, it's bitter and it's sweet. It's bitter because it's painful, but it's bitter, and it's sweet because you remember the things that you've shared together. And some of you may share, family, kids. It's just a lot of experiences, like I want to talk about, like, when a friend of mine died over the winter. It was very bittersweet. I remembered him making the best crab cakes, the best chocolate cake, going out on his boat with my other friend, his partner, and just having a ball all the time, and being very close and sharing a lot. And it's going to make me cry just because it's those things that we remember, those positive things that we remember about the people in our lives, So I guess it's sort of one of those things where, you're going to remember the positive stuff, but it's going to be hard at the same time. And for those of you who have shared a lot of experiences, it's going to be harder because you're going to be like, man, it sucks. I feel like that, I was really hoping, YouTube recordings are always more challenging than Instagram recordings. They're always more like intense. There's always like a little bit more, I don't know, obstacles or negativity to overcome with my YouTube recordings. This has been the way it's been forever. And I don't know if it's the following or whatever, but it's just more intense. And like, it's not what I would have wanted for you guys, but some of you like are going to resonate with this, For those of you who are going through grief, I would encourage you to join a grief support group. They are very helpful. If you are going through any kind of grief or any kind of loss, any kind of support that at this time is going to help, whether it's a random friend, somebody you meet on the street, somebody you meet at, the coffee shop, it doesn't matter. Try to stay open as best you can to people that are going to be supportive at this time. This is a clearinghouse. This is spring cleaning. This is clearinghouse for most of you. This is not going to be an easy process. It is spring cleaning. And but it is stuff like, and some of you, it might actually be clearing things out. Things, I'm seeing a house specifically, some of you going through things in a house, condensing it down. It's really hard to condense things down as you get to be an adult. So you might be going through things, and clearing things out. This could also be like a sale of a property, and it's like, things come to you through that sale. Maybe like the house gets sold because it has to be sold. And like, you get things through that house or through that sale somehow. And I don't know what those things would be, but it's sort of like, let's just say like if your parents passed away, or something like that, or like even a grandparent. So this could be like an older person who's passed away and leaving you some things. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna pull some other cards and see what else we get for this other spring energy. I almost feel like for some of you, whatever it is, the loss that you're going to be going through, anything that's, again, it could be a death in the family, it could be some kind of loss within a partnership, a long-time marriage, a long-time relationship, more than, like I said, 4 years, probably between 4 and 30, which is a lot. It's a huge time span, I know, but originally I wanted to say like 20 years. Those of you who are in a relationship for like 20 years, but that's not going to be the case for everybody. But I do feel like once whatever this gunk energy is, because I definitely feel like it's gunk. It's something that's a long time coming, that needs to be cleared, that needs to be cleaned, that needs some kind of upliftment. It could be even like for some of you, this is going to sound strange, but just your perspective on life. The very least, like maybe for some of you, it's not even death in the family. It's more like there's somebody who's, just something where it's like your perspective on life needs refreshing, needs some sort of upliftment, needs some kind of releasing. Now, some of you need spiritual cleaning. Like your energy is gunked up. Yeah. And you could be gunked up from past relationships. Some of you, it's past relationships, maybe a lot of skeletons in the closet. I'm seeing this here. So yeah, it definitely, you see how this is, we have these 3 beautiful cards here about, this is, I think of this as one of the star cards, the 9 of Pentacles, which is recognizing your own divinity. This is also a card about career, for some of you, having a career in music or showmanship or social media following, even for some. I also see it as a potentially new job for some of you. Ace of Swords is making a decision, and the 6 of Wands is getting ahead after much blood. It's blood, sweat, and tears. This is also the olive branch. This is also Virgo males. So you may be dealing with a Virgo male who reaches out to you. But in general, like I just see it as more upliftment, clearing, like positive spring energy. I feel, and I felt this before, like the Jupiter and Taurus energy is so heavy, and in some way is so toxic, that like when Jupiter goes into Gemini, it's gonna be like night and day. It's just like, okay, we've got this gunk here, for Jupiter in Taurus, and then we have this light, positive, even see, I see these butterflies here for the Gemini, the Jupiter and Gemini energy, which is coming. So I feel like there is a lot to look forward to. I like to be the bearer of good news, even though I know kind of started off on this space here trying to address these cards, but I definitely feel in general, that's something to look forward to. That shift in the energy is something to look forward to. I feel like it has been heavy for some time and toxic for some time. And some of you may be in a toxic relationship, or you may have already been dealing with some level of toxicity in your life. That could be anything from the place that you work at, to the people that you surround yourself. It could be also people that you talk to, could be family members who are going through a tough time, as well. Also, there's like some imbalance within, I think, like potentially your home life versus work life, or just like within a partnership. Like your partner may or may not pick up the slack. So like you have to do everything, or like they have to do everything, and there's like this resentment. I'm not sure whose it is. So those of you who are reading, those of you who are watching, most likely you've said yes to too much. You've taken on too many burdens. Like maybe it's you're picking the kids up from school, you're making all of their lunches, you're making all their appointments, you're helping them with their schoolwork, and all they're doing is showing up. And I'm not saying that that's bad. Sometimes that's the way relationships go, but this to me means there's some imbalance where somebody said yes to too much. They've taken on all of the burden, all the responsibility, all the cleaning, all the cooking. And it might not even be like specifically those things. It could be just like a sense of being overburdened by life's responsibilities, or responsibilities in general. But I definitely feel like there's someone that's watching that has a partner who's not carrying the weight, or pulling their weight in the relationship, not with the household duties, and not with, if there's children, not with the kids. So somebody's like there, but they're not really wanting to put the work or the effort in, and so like all of the responsibilities fall to you. Those of you who are watching. I definitely feel, okay, so, we have the Four of Swords, and the Four of Swords is, like rest and sleep and putting down the sword, and not wanting conflict. I almost feel like there's a sense of like, maybe you're dealing with an avoidant person, or somebody who doesn't really want conflict, but I feel like there's almost like a conflict that's coming that's not what they're wanting, but you have to go through it anyways. It's almost like, I don't know, it's like a person that knows that you're going to break up, but doesn't want to talk to you. Like it's almost like, it's like you reached over the phone and you're like, okay, we gotta break up today with this person, and then like for whatever reason you can't get through, or that day, or it's not a good day. Maybe it's like one of those funny things where it was like you go to break up with someone and they're sick. So you feel really guilty. You're like, I can't break up with them today because they're sick. You know what I'm saying? So you might, like, I feel like, yeah, there's a sense of avoidance. There's a sense of avoidance of talking about stuff that would lead to a breakup. And I feel like you're going to end up talking about those things, or end up in a situation where you have to have the conversation. Like, some of you just have to have the conversation. That's the bottom line. You maybe have avoided the conversation for a really long time about imbalances in our partnership. Maybe you've avoided the conversation for a really long time about feeling stuck or trapped, or not being able to do the things you want to do because of the partnership, or because of the decisions you guys have made in the relationship. Some of you may need to have a serious conversation with a boss, and you just don't want to do it because if you have a conversation with the boss, it's not going to go well. These are different scenarios. Most likely, though, this is relationship oriented. I do not feel like most likely this is career. I feel like any ending that did happen in career, you would have like almost like immediately something like a door opening. If something doesn't work out for whatever reason with a certain career path, I feel like something else will pop up. The door will open somewhere, somehow. And this, remember guys, hasn't come to pass yet. And Jupiter is still in Taurus. So it's like our ass is dragging like 1,000 miles behind us. It's like Jupiter's a rock right now, and we're carrying this rock, and it's a heavy load, I feel like, for a lot of people. But like, let me see what else. Hang on. So I pulled, for this path, this kind of toxic path, I was pulled the star and the Hierophant. And I definitely feel for a lot of people, those of you who are going to come to the end of the road on something, or there's going to be some kind of loss, I feel like you're going to recuperate. There's going to be healing, and there's going to be counseling, and there's going to be people or somebody that's going to show up to be there for you. And I would encourage you to reach out to other people at this time. Some of you kind of want to know if like this is funny. I'm sorry laughing. Only because people that are married tend to get married again. Like they're the coupling kind of people. Like they want to be in a long-term partnership. But I've met people, many people that have long-term relationships and then they're like, well, am I ever going to get married again? So I definitely feel like for some of you, I'm seeing like several different things. Like the first thing is yes, you get married again, most likely. I'm seeing two. So those of you who like to say you go through a separation between now and like the end of May, even later, I feel like you are going to end up in another relationship at some point. But I also see you leaning on a partner. If like let's just say there's a death in the family, which would affect you in a big way, like a death in the family, which somebody like maybe that's close to you gets sick. Okay, Eight of Swords can be getting sick and passing. This could be from cancer, something like that. A lot of times people go through really horrific situations where people go in and out of hospice, and there's a lot of complicating factors with hospitals and hospice and issues around that, and my guides are confirming that for somebody. Like for some of you, like you're married and this is a death of somebody, but they've gone through a lot, and by the time they pass, it's actually a little bit of a relief, and you'll feel like, okay, at least they're at peace. And but you'll have to lean on your partner for this process, and I feel like you are going to be able to navigate the grief process, and it'll be okay. Let's see what else. Something very, very good is going to happen with work for some of you. This could be a promotion, this could be a raise, this could be a beautiful new jobs for some, like the Eight of Pentacles as the foundation. And the Eight of Pentacles is, in this foundation, is a lot of career focus. Everything is, career related. So maybe stress or exhaustion from career. Feeling overburdened by career. For some, working really, really hard in your career to try to get someplace, climbing the ladder kind of thing. But I also feel like there might be some joy coming through your career as well. Like, so for some of you who are very career focused, this could be, just maybe getting a call back on an interview or something. That really just brightens your life, or you get news that you're going to get a raise or something like that after a long period of time. Now, some of these blessings could come through again when Jupiter goes into Gemini. It could still come through Taurus though as well, because Taurus is an earth sign and Taurus is very material focused. So this could still come through Taurus season in May. I definitely feel like for some of you, you're going to be moving on from something. Either you're going to be going through the transformation process, which is we have the Death card here. And the transformation process is quite intense and painful. and you're going to be moving on from some things. Um, or you're going to be, I want to say, being a light for others. Or there's going to be someone who's a light for you specifically, and it's fated that they are a light for you, and it's kind of like an energy of miracles. So like bumping into a person right when you need, I don't know, say $100, and they're like, here, like, let me give you $100. Or let's just say, asking for directions, and them giving you good directions, needing a ride and then coming and giving you a ride, something like that. So any miracle, whatever the miracle is for you. Sometimes people, their miracles can be very small. Sometimes it's just, like I said, the $100, and sometimes it's just a bill being paid, and sometimes it's just getting their car fixed. Whatever it is for you, it's going to be very specific to you. But I definitely feel like this death card here has an energy of transformation, and I'm trying to kind of go a little bit deeper into like what it's about. I shared this with a friend. I saw this, this is very personal to me, but I want to share it just because this is coming up. It's an energy here that's coming up. I learned that there is strength in vulnerability, and beauty can come out of a time of severe struggle. And to me, that's a little bit about transformation, because transformation is about transformation and rebirth comes on the heels of a time of challenge, of a time where someone is severely challenged, and those challenges typically have to do with those tough things, really hard things. That's the struggle and finding beauty within the struggle, and being really strong despite certain situations, and having to be vulnerable, and and then basically you transform into something else because you've learned those lessons, and you become something other than what you've been. So I feel like some of you are definitely going through this transformation process, and transformation usually happens where there's a move and a new job, or there's like a new relationship, a new house, and a new job, or there's a relationship and a new house, or any combination of those things. So some of you might be moving and starting fresh in a new place. Some of you might just be getting into a new relationship, and then you decide, oh, like maybe we're gonna move in together, or you decide you want to get married or something like that. So I find this fascinating. I'm going to pull one last card. Okay, I lied. Okay, I'm going to put two. I really wanted to see. Okay, so we have the High Priestess and the Nine of Cups. And to me, there's an energy of playfulness that's coming through this. Normally I see the Nine of Cups as like a player person, like a guy who's just not really interested in commitment. But I actually feel like, because we're talking about this Jupiter and Gemini energy, which is coming at the end of May, I feel like there's a lightheartedness, a playfulness energy. Like those of you who haven't had any fun, like, going out for doing something fun, there's a lightness to it. Maybe going fishing, or if you've never gone fishing, or doing something at the beach, or I don't know, kind of getting creative with things outside. So maybe going for like more hikes, or just doing more fun things outdoors. I feel like there's a strong vibe, but to me it's the energy of fun. Like for those of you who really have been gunked down, like I said, in either the grief process, or for some of you this transformational process, which is really intense, and you're kind of looking forward to this spring energy, I feel like you desperately need to do something fun. And some of you, it might be outdoor activity, and some of you it might be, again, near water or with water. Either way, I think it would be very positive for you to do those things. And I think, like, given the cards here, I feel like, it's something to look forward to. I'm gonna leave off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. If you can donate, please do. Cash App is preferred or PayPal's preferred, but you can send a donation to my GoFundMe campaign. Yeah, I send everybody big hugs, big kisses, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. I wish you guys all the best. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye.